Yeah. And so then I got caught onto you because they were always mentioning you and saying like you're the Chris Hansen version of catching predators. So let's talk about this, man. Where did this all start?
Yeah, just, watching To Catch a Predator back in the day, Chris Hansen, huge inspiration for me. I always loved the, the one-liners he would give when the guys walked in. So that was a little bit of the inspiration. I had the idea to do this sort of predator catching thing like years and years ago. But I just figured, like, I don't have the crew or the resources to do that, so why even bother? But at some point, I started seeing people on YouTube doing it, and I was like, oh, shit, people are actually doing this. I wonder how hard this is to get into, So with me not knowing anything, I just made a profile on a dating app with my friend's old pictures, got his permission to do that. And this guy that worked at the Carrabba's in Canton, this is the first video. So he hit up the account. I ended up telling him, I was 14. He got sexual, sent graphic images. And then a few days later, we rolled up to his job at Carrabba's. And that's where the whole Predator pasta thing started. If you're familiar, at the beginning of my videos, I say like, I'm Skeeter Jean. So here, I have another dose of Predator pasta for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in there. He's a waiter there. We ask for him specifically. He sits us down with a couple waters, and I say, we'd like to order the Predator pasta. And it pretty much goes all downhill from there, essentially. Yeah. So, yeah, that's, Chris Hansen's, like, the main inspiration, especially with, like, the one-liners and the whole thing overall, It's pretty much, it's where it started, really.
Yeah, man. Chris Hansen's a fucking legend. I used to watch Dateline all the fucking time. It's just like, I never thought I would see somebody kind of replicate it to some degree, even at all.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I was watching other people do it, and I was like, why is no one doing the whole Chris Hansen thing in the suit jacket?
Yeah.
It's kind of a missed opportunity here. Let me try this shit.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, and the fact that you kind of articulate so well, and like you know how to make it escalate very calmly. Just like Chris Hansen, in a sense, where it's like, well, this shit's getting crazier, but he's staying cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas some other predator catchers are like more like boom, 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 and it's like you can feel that intensity increasing, and feeling much more scared. But I really appreciate your approach because it's more easily digestible, it's more calmer to watch, and it's fucking hilarious. It's just the shit is fucking hilarious.
It can be.
I seen an episode where you literally, some guy brought like a Happy Meal because he thought he was gonna give it. To the child that he's like seeking, and then you ate the fucking.
Yeah. My security guard fed me the chicken nuggets on camera. Yeah. That was a good time. That was a good time.
So adding these little twists of just kind of humanizing it and making it funny and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's where I kind of separated you from Chris Hansen, because I feel like two things. One, you break that wall of like total professionalism to some degree, where it's like let's make this a little funny.
For sure.
And then two, your security risk is way higher, like substantially higher than Chris Hansen's.
Absolutely.
You're going to people's houses
here and there. We've done that in the past.
Yeah, so that's like really fucking risky on your end, but it's like also like I think why people fuck with you so much, because it's like holy shit, like you're really involved in this.
I'm a little ballsy,
Yeah. Talk about after the first episode, kind of like the progression of the page and what you were doing.
Yeah, so after the first episode we put out, it got really good traction. We kind of just did it as a one-off just to see how it would perform. And it turned out people really liked the content and the way that I was going about making the content. So from there, we basically just kept doing it. Now, there was a point where I went like 3 or 4 months without making a video just because I couldn't catch anyone. But that was due to me not having a proper, young-looking decoy. And at some point I realized, okay, I need like a young-looking adult decoy so we can send these guys the pictures they want, and they can video chat them, call them, and they'll believe the whole thing's real. From when I got the professional, not professional, but an adult decoy to kind of work with me on it, it kind of just took off. Like we weren't going more than like 3 weeks without catching one of these guys. And at that point there was enough content to keep the channel going and keep the audience coming back pretty much.
So when you're putting out this idea for the very first time, it wasn't a total like I'm for sure going to be fully invested. It was kind of just let's throw this out there and see what happens.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yep. Let's throw it out, see what happens, see what we get.
And so because you saw the traction, you saw the potential of it, then you decided to fully get involved in it.
Exactly. I kept replicating what was working and still doing it to this day.
For sure. And kind of talk about the next milestone. Let's kind of walk through. I know there was a lot of episodes and everything like that. A lot of, like I said, they're fucking hilarious, but also what were some monumental points on that? I know you got to Fox News. I know they covered you and stuff like that. What even gave them notice of you? What episode in particular do you think they saw?
That was definitely the ice cream parlor one in Carlton, Michigan, where we busted the guy at his ice cream shop. He invited, a 14-year-old boy up there to his ice cream shop, and then we came up there and confronted him. And the next day, word got out. The whole city was pretty much angry. It's a real small town. Everyone knows everyone in Carlton. And they went up to his shop. This guy got hoarded. They did like graffiti over his like on his building. I think they wrote like chomo or pedophile on his building or something. And then the police had to get involved because this it was just crazy. And then after some point, Fox News saw what was happening, and then a reporter from Fox News contacted me to sort of give my side of the story and go on the news. Basically, it was pretty cool.
Did you feel like people were siding with you more so as far as, I'm not going to keep throwing out other organizations that kind of do what you do because it's like, well, I want to focus on you. But like some people do those things and then they'll get bashed for it or they'll get blackballed for it or it'll kind of get pushed to the side. Did you feel any of that or did you feel just like total support? Everybody's fucking with me. Everybody fucks with what I just did here.
In that instance, yeah, total support. Everyone loved me except the Predator, obviously.
You got to imagine his whole life's down the drain.
Yeah. I don't know what he's up to these days, but I know he got charged. They got his devices and found some stuff in his computer.
Oh, wow.
So that's what they got him for. I know his bond was set at $100,000. The next day, he put his ice cream parlor shop up for, I believe it was $50,000.
Oh, wow.
Or $50,000 or $25,000, so he could get out on bond or whatever. But yeah, I haven't heard anything from him to this day, so who knows where Bill is at these days.
He's like hiding outside the door, like, I'm just going to wait for this guy.
I imagine he wants to skip town, because when that happens, you pretty much have to.
Yeah, like, you can't stick around, man.
No.
Yeah.
No, but you shouldn't be trying to meet up with kids, man.
What's like the equivalent of doing that's not with children, but you still can't stick around? Like, what can a person do in life that, like, you're banished from the city even though it wasn't like being a child predator?
Honestly,
what's something?
I don't think there's.
No, I know a lot of thieves, man. I hang out with rappers.
That. I wouldn't say.
What's like
even that?
We got
worse than that, other than maybe being a rapist.
Yeah,
Nope.
I would say that.
Okay, that's pretty. Yeah, you're pretty much done after that too. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's like you can literally end a career, you can end up a person's identity, you can end everything about them, and it's just based upon the fact that for whatever reason in their mind they thought it was a good idea to reach out and try to exploit a child.
I look at it as more it's something that they decided to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. They made this decision for whatever fucking reason, and now they're getting exploited for that decision.
Exactly. And it's crazy how many of these guys are out there knowing that, I do this thing. There's a bunch of other predator catch groups doing this thing. Not to mention there's actual police doing these sting operations, and some of these guys still go through with it, knowing all the risk. They have to know,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just because at that point in their state of mind is just like infatuated about this idea that they fucking forget all of the logistics of what's probably going to happen to you.
And not to mention we do a pretty good job at selling it. At this point, we're pretty much professionals in that aspect.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that you guys do have a decoy. I saw a couple of her videos.
Courtney. I think you're talking about Courtney.
Yeah, she has her own page and she has a mask on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge step forward
for sure.
Obviously to sell it. But let's talk a little bit about, again, walking through the videos and kind of walking through. You release 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes. And what's like the moments that are sticking out to you while this is happening, as far as the attention that you're getting from it?
As far as like when I post a video and then
The reciprocation from the
Okay.
audiences and the fan base and building this fan base. You have a substantial amount of followers, and I think your videos average almost 500,000 views per video.
at some point I would say more realistically about 250,000, and if they're like a real banger, then they'll get up to the 500,000 mark and then go up from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like milestones with those, as far as like the audience reciprocation, I mean it's usually like in the comment section, it's a lot of the same stuff, like good job, we support what you're doing. And they're saying I'm really making a difference out here, basically. There are some people that stand out amongst the rest, like if earlier this year I did a collaboration with Gideon. I mean, he's huge. He's got like 6 million followers at this point. He reached out to me last year, end of last year, wanting to do a collab, which is crazy to me because he had like over 1 million followers and I had like 70,000 or something. So I was like, why does this dude want to do something with me? I thought it was like spam or something, but I started talking to him and it was like really him. So that's one thing.
I noticed
And
you worked
then-
with GMAC too. I think I saw a photo of you and GMAC together. I don't know if you guys
Right. We were going to, but the Predator got cold feet at the end and he didn't come through. But we were already in Walmart ready, so we figured we'd take the picture anyway.
yeah, right on.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I think it's because it's such a not to say niche, because it's not like to put it in a category, but it's something that nobody else can do really. Like as far as like
I'd
a
say
rapper,
it is kind of a niche though.
it is a niche, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying like a rapper or anybody a celebrity, like they can't just go do that on their own. So they respect you highly for
Right.
doing it, right? So that's
For
why they
sure.
want to collaborate. I'm like, first of all, they're totally against that shit. Second of all, this
Yeah.
dude's doing it. Let me work with the best when we do this.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of. I imagine that's probably what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for me, like I'm like I watched a few of the videos and I'm always getting dumbfounded because the Predator is bringing food and Happy Meals comes up more than once, and I'm just thinking like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on with that? Like, is that like, are you telling them to bring these Happy Meals, or like how does that work?
Yeah, we're telling them to bring them, I guess, for further entertainment value, basically, just to see if they'll actually do it. I mean, one, it shows like further intent, like they actually have something for the girl they're trying to meet, and then the second part is audience retention, them like laughing at it. Basically, there were two instances. Where we got guys to bring out a Happy Meal. One of them, the guy didn't bring it in, but he did have it in his car. And he took a picture and sent it. So it was we knew he had it, so that still counts.
Yeah.
Recently, we got a guy to bring a pizza to a hotel room. That one's not out yet, but that one's gonna be a banger for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I noticed another thing too is that it's not always the same thing area. Like you're doing different houses and you're doing different areas and you're meeting.
Can't
up.
be the same area.
Yeah, I know the one in Allen Park. That's the house, right? Now,
Yeah.
how do you get access to that? Like, how do you?
Airbnb.
Oh, so you just Airbnb it, and then
Yeah.
do you have to notify them like what's going on, or do you just go like, fuck it, we're going?
We kind of just do it, and we kind of just hope that they're not against exposing predators, basically.
Now, how concerned are you with the security factor, right? If somebody comes in, Chris Hansen probably has like 6 guard. We don't know where they're hiding or who's
Right.
stopping the shooting or a gun being pulled out from happening. How do you protect yourself?
Well, we all go into it with the mindset of, anything can happen, and we're all on board with taking the risk. We kind of assume that most likely nothing is going to happen because it's like, okay, there's 3 of us. Usually we're in a public place with cameras and lights. They see the camera, so they know that everything's being recorded. So just based off those things, we pretty much know that they're not going to do anything. But in the instance where, we're having them come to a house, I have, usually there's like two of my friends that are doing like sort of security, and then one of my friends is like my cameraman. So there's a house of like 4 of us pretty much. And I'm pretty much always calm and collected the whole time, and nothing really gets escalated where anyone's getting heated or anything like that. So that's another thing. On top of that, I always come out in this, the suit jacket and the badge, and I look pretty official. So 9 times out of 10, they usually think I'm like police or something. So
Yeah.
Chances of them doing anything are pretty low, I would say.
Okay, so you're kind of playing the odds, like, all right, most likely,
Pretty much,
nothing
yeah.
can turn out of this.
Yeah.
As far as retaliation and stuff like that, how do you do you look over your shoulders? Do you think about that stuff?
Yeah, I do. I do. I do think of, one of these guys wanting to, I guess, get revenge on me in some way for me exposing him on the internet. But then I also think, that guy would have to be pretty dumb to do that. Or he would have to decide that he has nothing to live for. Fuck it. And I'm going to, try to find this guy or whatever. It's just something, you gotta live with. And I have taken the precautions to protect myself if that were to ever occur.
Yeah, because you'd have to imagine that, if you're doing something revolving around content creation, it's the only thing I can think of where somebody's going to want to do something to you because of the fact that it destroyed their whole life, basically.
Right.
Because they made a dumb decision. It was exposed over the internet. Now their life is ruined. And it's like, well, this one person in their mind is the cause of this.
I could see that thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, because you're when you're not in the right state of mind when your life is probably falling apart around you. Do you ever go in feeling guilty ever of maybe exposing somebody and knowing? Do you ever look at them like maybe this was just you just weren't thinking, or do you look at every one person as the same? Like, no, you fucked up. That's it. It's over.
There's a particular few that I look at and they're like, maybe they're just really lonely, and maybe they weren't thinking the most clearly, but at the end of the day, they still ultimately made the decision to talk sexual and try to meet up with who they thought was a 13-year-old girl, for instance. So
yeah,
they're kind of in the same boat as the rest. But then you got the ones that are really bad, and it's okay, you know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to be very careful in the text messages. And some of them even say that, I can get arrested for this, so I got to be careful. Actually type it.
yeah.
So those ones, it's come on, you really don't have remorse for those ones. But there are a few where it's I can kind of see, you're lonely, this, and this, but it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, right. So either way, it's we're gonna have to do what we have to do anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
My favorite part about the whole thing is that it's a deterrent from people to take the risk of trying to do this. It's I can't do this because Skeeter might fucking get me.
Exactly. That's a thing too. So that's also what we're going for, to spread awareness and to stop, adults from trying to meet up with teens online. And if they know that I'm out here doing this, Dap is out here doing this, and this person is out here doing this, it's okay, if you go on an app and someone tells you they're 13, chances are you're talking to me or 5 other people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or the cops. So.
Yeah, man. I was watching one of your videos, and again, the funny aspects of it really shine to me because it's even though it's not funny, a funny thing to encounter, let's make it a little more entertaining. So the Santa Claus outfit, man.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah, no, literally, I just thought I thought it'd be funny. That's literally it.
Yeah,
and it was Christmas time, so I figured, I'll do a Christmas special. It might get a few more views, but yeah, just thought it'd be funny, get a few views. I probably wouldn't go that far again, because that was a little bit in my early days, and now these days I'm a little more serious.
Yeah.
The last straw for me was playing mini golf with the Predator. That showed up to the mini golf course. Yeah. I'm not gonna get that silly again.
What makes you not want to do it? Do you just want to have people take it more seriously, or is it just you don't need to do you don't feel the need to do it?
That and it's really partially because YouTube is cracking down on this whole new policy they got, and they basically are saying that they don't want content that shows a individual being accused of misconduct with a minor, basically, unless there is sufficient educational or documentary context, is how they worded it. Yeah, so now I'm basically making straight up sort of educational documentaries. So for that reason, it has to be a little more serious.
Wow. So you caught on to that because a lot of platforms are getting destroyed, but YouTube is taking down a lot of platforms.
They
They're
are.
doing predator catching, and you're not one of them. You got to stay alive, right?
For now, at least, they've taken a couple videos down, but for now, my channel still remains, and I'm just trying to play by their rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's scary, man.
It really is. When I first saw that, it was like, wow, this is kind of everything that my channel is built off of. Well, fuck. All right, got to see what happens, and sure enough, I want to say like a week later after they sent out that memo, they took down my video with over 3 million views, which is the most viewed one. The one where the guy shows up in a SpongeBob shirt and his wife is calling him the whole time. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen that one. It's the most popular one, but yeah, they said that it violated their harassment, threats, and cyberbullying policy. Like basically that I was putting this video out and it incites people to harass this person. Predator or not, it's they try to protect. They want to protect all of their users.
Yeah.
Even if they're pedophiles.
Because you got to think
unfortunately,
about it. Your platform is the only type of content where you're literally exposing somebody directly as an individual that's not a celebrity or an entertainer or anything like that. So
pretty much
that's the only. It's like
That's
you guys
pretty much
probably
what it
opened up a new category for them as far as what's getting banned.
basically,
Yeah.
between like me, DAP, and a few other of the groups, basically sort of made this whole subgenre on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
That's
what
kinda
really
crazy.
started it was, what really started YouTube getting down on it was certain groups not going about it the right way, slandering and harassing, borderline bullying these predators in the actual videos, normalizing bullying them.
Yeah.
So YouTube is just like all across. They are slowly trying to shut it down, but I'm trying to stay within their means and make it sort of more about the educational side of it. Basically, is what I'm doing now. So
I feel like I watched your that kind of new trailer sequence. I don't know if you would call it a trailer sequence, but it was kind of like a really when I first saw it, I thought it was a TV show. Like
that's what some people said.
Yeah, I thought oh, he made it. I was like, oh, he fucking made it. Like this is TV. This is gonna be he's gonna be on NBC or something like that. Like this is crazy. I was so happy, and then I was like, oh, this is just really well made.
Yeah, I'm just doing it all myself.
Yeah, really well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Talk about taking it to that next level.
Yeah, so I YouTube came out with the new regulation, and I took some time to think, what could be a way around this, because no matter what, there's always a way. You just gotta think about it. So I weighed out the options, and I was really dissecting the regulation, really looking in depth at it. And what really stood out to me was the part where they said, so the regulation is you can't post content that shows an identifiable individual being accused of egregious misconduct with a minor without law enforcement present. That's the regulation.
Oh, okay.
Unless there is sufficient educational or documentary or artistic context. So I looked at it and I said, okay, if the police are in the video at any point, I guess it's all good. It says identifiable individual. So if I blur the person's face, I guess it's all good. But we don't want to do that because, that's no fun.
That's part of the game, yeah.
That's kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
And then it said, unless there is educational, documentary, and context. Educational, documentary. I was like, okay, if I make an educational documentary about what could happen of the dangers of, kids using the internet, unsupervised basically, if I made it more about that and made it come off as a straight up documentary and then showed the person who came to meet them and did a interview with them,
yeah,
maybe, YouTube will accept it and write it off as educational and documentary. So that's what we're going for now.
Has it been unraveled yet, or is it still coming out?
Yeah, I just put out the first episode, as I would like to call it, not last Friday, the Friday before last. It did pretty well. People are really liking the new step up in the editing, and they're saying, it looks like literally like like a TV show.
No, there's 2 episodes out though, right, or something? Because I saw a second, something about a part 2 or something like that. Did that
Yeah,
not
so
come-
that I put that out on my YouTube members.
Oh, okay.
So if you're paying like it's like $10 a month, you're one of my members, you can see it. And that one is going to come out this Friday. So
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So we're like right before it. Like,
right before episode 2 right now. Yeah. Pretty excited.
yeah, production's insane, man. Because
I appreciate it, man.
It's just like that. I always appreciate shit like that because it means you're more invested in yourself. And you're, to me, I'm wondering, will TV pick it up? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, do you think a network will pick it up? Have you been offered anything?
No, I haven't been offered anything. It sounds, I guess to me, I'm pretty humble. It sounds a little far-fetched to me, but
You
maybe
think
it's
so?
maybe it's not though. Maybe it's not.
What do you think
But,
separates the fact? Okay, like Chris Hansen was done. Was there another Chris Hansen after that?
No, not really. I don't think so.
I think there was a. Did you ever watch a talk about why they might have stopped doing the show?
Oh yeah, I know exactly why they stopped doing it. So To Catch a Predator, one of the guys they caught actually committed suicide
All right.
because of their investigations, and the Predator's family tried to sue NBC for it. I don't think they were successful with it. But after that, I guess Chris Hansen was kind of like, okay, this has run its course. We're done now. But in 2016, he came back with Hansen versus Predator. That went on for like a year, I want to say. After that, coming up this year, he said that he's coming out with some network, and he's gonna be at it again. The same thing, catching predators.
Would
So-
you, with what you got going on, obviously, like you're already successful, but you're going to be super successful. If I'm just saying, this is just like a thought, stupid thought in my head.
Yeah.
Like, would you ever work with him? As far as like,
Oh, I've been wanting to.
would you? But what if it meant you had to commit to working with him on set, like for like a year contract? Would you rather focus on your own thing and like build your own thing, or would you? Let's say he was just like, I want you to like take some spots from me. Like you're gonna help me catch sometimes. What would you
No, I
rather
would-
do?
If it was a year contract, I would try something new for
Really?
sure. I mean, I don't see any bad that could come out of it. And on the side, I could also be working on my stuff a little bit, I imagine. Or are you saying I got to specifically?
Yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah,
okay.
they'd be like, you can't do your own thing right now. You
Oh,
gotta
just for a year. Yeah,
yeah.
I would do it for a year and see how it goes
Yeah.
for sure.
That'd be interesting, man. Because I feel like there isn't anything else like that. And if he's coming back, man, it's like you're one. How many guys would you say are doing it at the production level that you're doing it at right now?
Like YouTubers,
Yeah,
none.
you're the only
Not
one,
at-
right? Yeah, because
No.
what makes you think that a network wouldn't pick it up, or what steps do you think you would have to take for a network to pick it up?
Well, it's not that I wouldn't think they would that network would pick it up. I guess I'm just being a little too humble, but I don't really know of the the steps I would take to get a network to pick it up. I feel like networks usually reach out. I feel like if they want
Just sometimes.
something to do with something, but I don't know. I guess I would have to do a little research and see if I could reach out to some network or some producer of some sort and see if they want to pick it up.
It would be, yeah. You would submit your pilot. Well, essentially, what your first 2 episodes are, they're going to be they're pilots, right? They're
Yeah.
so well made that when you send them over to whoever would pick it up, even if it was Netflix or something like that, they wouldn't pick up the first 2 because the camera has to be a certain requirement or whatever.
Okay.
But they would say, hey, shoot episode 3. We got you $50,000 budget. Go make 5 episodes for us. And so you would just submit those pilots to a bunch of different networks, and whoever picks it up, and it will get picked up, bro. I mean, the quality is at that point where it's going to get picked up. Now, as far as your team's concerned, as far as the crew, how does the operations work? Like, who's running the cameras? Who's running the audio? How are you editing it? Like, what's the whole process for putting it together?
Yeah, so for putting it together, it's a it's like a 4-prong setup. So I have the decoy. She's they're talking to the guys online, sending me all the information when they want to meet and all that. You got me. I'm like the kind of like the star, I guess, or whatever. There's my cameraman, and then we got like one of my friends is like security. We'll have like 1 or 2 like security guys. So yeah, basically when the guys want to meet up, we'll get the camera together, hook up all the audio. I run a transmitter receiver type deal, so that the receiver's on hooked up to the camera. The transmitter is clipped under my shirt right here. You can never see it on camera. That's how we get such clear audio. It's like always on me. So we hook all that up. It's pretty much just like run and gun with a camcorder. Basically, is how we're recording it.
Do you have a system for the guest, the Predator, is audio and everything like that? Did you guys like figure out how to capture that to the highest level?
What the Predator's saying?
Yeah.
It's basically just it's all like
It's going through the transmitter.
It's going through the transmitter, and I just try to be like close enough to pick it all up, but not too close, obviously. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is. It's pretty simple, really. Yeah. And I do all the editing. I do it on Premiere Pro.
Right. Now, did you have to teach all yourself all this stuff throughout the process, or did you kind of already have skills with the production? Because I know you were like a rapper for like literally 1 second.
Like a little parody type deal. Yeah, I was doing that for a minute. That's a funny story right there. You know, I made that Pumpkin Spice song.
Was it like Pimp Master Skeet?
It was Pump Master Skeet.
Pump Master Skeet. Skeet. Yeah.
Yep.
It's fucking hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I shot that music video, and the guy that directed it for me, do you know Jay Shot It?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he did that video for me, and he was like telling me how creative I was, and he said that he was like, you know, you might be a good director because, you know, all these ideas, like those were all my ideas, you know, and everything. So I was like, okay, you know, I thought about that, and at some point I picked up a DSLR camera of my own. I got a Sony A7 III.
And that's what we're shooting right here, right?
Was it? Yeah, I love that camera. Mm-hmm. And I started doing a few music videos for a few local artists. So I really got my feet wet with the whole like sort of video production thing and editing, doing like transition effects, all that good stuff. Spent, you know, hours on Premiere Pro learning that stuff, but that didn't really go anywhere. So at some point I went back to you know how that is, yeah. At some point I went back to YouTube, but I still had all these skills like just in the backpack, not really doing anything with them. And now that I'm doing this sort of educational documentary thing, they're kind of coming into play now. Like I already knew this stuff from like a few years ago, you know.
Word up. Yeah, so you pretty much got to learn. You kind of taught yourself before you got into it to the level you're at now.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome because it came together at the right time, right?
It really did. Yeah.
It's like all the skills and everything you built is creating this new style production. Now, if people can look back at some of your older videos, what's one that stands out to you the most that you feel like people should check out first?
As far as like the predator catching stuff?
Oh yeah. Not the rap career,
yeah.
There's only like one, I think.
Yeah, it was only one that I got up there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the you know, the predator catching stuff, if I were to recommend an older one, I would recommend the one that got taken down because that's the best one, unfortunately.
Is that on another platform?
I put that one on Rumble.
Okay.
I would recommend that one where the guy's, you know, the wife keeps calling him. He's wearing the SpongeBob shirt. But besides that, I'd probably say the Happy Meal one where Royce brought the Happy Meal into the Target and I started eating the chicken nuggets. Mm. That's when I would put people on.
Talk about how that one came together. Talk about the whole process from before till it happened until the end.
Yeah, so Royce, you know, we came across him on the dating app Meet Me. Started talking to the girl. And he said that he has a daughter. I believe his daughter at the time was like 12 years old or something. He was trying to bring the girl back to his house to play with, you know, his daughter. That they could be friends basically. But he was also talking about giving the girl, you know, a massage and, you know, taking her clothes off and getting a little borderline creepy. He didn't get sexual per se, but borderline creepy. And then he did mention that after the massage, he said we could be intimate if you want. And, you know, he's talking to a 14-year-old girl. So plan to, you know, meet up with him at a Target. We said to him, hey, do you think you could get me a Happy Meal? Because I'm kind of hungry, but I'm not like that hungry. You know, what 14-year-old really gets a Happy Meal, right? So I was like, kind of played it off like that. And I was like, make sure it's a girl toy too. He was like, okay.
Yeah.
So he got the Happy Meal, took a picture of it in his passenger seat. And we were just freaking out at this point because we got the picture. We were like, oh my God, this guy actually brought a Happy Meal. This is crazy. And then we, you know, he gave us the word that he was in the store and we went in and, you know, it went downhill from there. We confronted him and that's that video.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. It's just like how
Yeah.
stupid you have to be, but then like the execution of it is hilarious too. Now
Right.
I know, like you guys got into like some type of like legal trouble or something like that. Somebody tried to file a lawsuit on you or something like that.
Oh yeah, Aaron, the guy that I played mini golf with.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I got an email from either him or it was marked friends of Aaron is what it said. It basically said that I defamed him in this video and called him a predator and all, just a bunch of stuff, and I basically painted him in this negative light, and they said that they were going to sue me for I think it would be for defamation if the video wasn't removed, and they quote unquote said that the footage needs to be destroyed. So I took that literally and made a video, a whole like spoof parody video of me trying to destroy the footage.
Yeah, I saw.
Like
the
it was
golf
like
club.
it was like a disc, and I was destroying the footage. Yeah, I've pretty much just been trolling them this whole time, and they still have yet to send an actual cease and desist letter from an actual lawyer. So I don't think they're for real.
Yeah, when I think did you post that on Instagram too, like the actual document? Did you end up doing that or something like that? Didn't you like
Document? No, not an actual document. No.
Didn't you post like the letter, like the email?
The email, yeah.
the
Yeah, I
email.
posted the
When I
email.
was reading it, because I think I commented on that one, I was like,
You probably
sounds
did.
like bullshit.
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds like a
Yeah.
guy type, because I've done that before. Like when I was like, I got in something where I was like, I need to like scare this motherfucker, and I was like, this is exactly how I would have typed that shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it was a scare tactic.
Yeah.
It wasn't an official letter from any lawyer, so.
yeah, they probably would have called you. If it's a lawyer, most likely
Yeah.
they're gonna call you like,
Or
hey,
or
you're
it's
being
gonna
sued.
be an official cease and desist letter, because
Yeah.
I have gotten one before.
Really?
And it was serious, yeah. So the this predator I exposed at his job, I won't say the name of it, but it's a they're sort of a local company, and I put the video out and included the company's name and their logo in the video, and they saw it, and they basically sent the cease and desist letter saying that, hey, we see what you're doing, and we respect it. However, we don't want our company name and logo associated with it. So this is the cease and desist letter. Can you just blur out the parts where our company logo
Right on.
and all that is in it? Because they could have went after me for like technically copyright infringement because their logo's in the video.
I do wonder how far that would have went. That's interesting.
It
It's
seemed, I mean, they had something for sure.
They
So
did?
I took the video down and blurred it out and re-uploaded it, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too with the McDonald's stuff, because I was thinking to myself, like, you're
See,
having them-
McDonald's is they're a really big company, so they wouldn't even bother.
You don't think
I
they would care?
No, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't even have the type of money they would want. Even they wouldn't even be able to get it. It wouldn't even be worth their time, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because a company like
Well, you
McDonald's.
don't know. Look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan went after like a supermarket because they named one of their deals like the Michael Jordan the Air Jordan special or something like that. And he literally
Really?
sued this fucking market. I was like, come on, man. Like,
Really?
Michael Jordan? Like, yeah, he literally sued the shit out of them. I was
That's
like, come on.
petty.
Yeah,
Well, shit,
so
maybe McDonald's could get me that. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, the pizza thing is always good because I noticed when the Hansen stuff, when they did pizza, it's like the box could say, it just says like, thanks for purchasing. Or it was
Yeah,
like,
or
thanks-
they'll like blur the name out.
yeah, or whatever. So now you're just more aware of that. You're just like, okay,
I
let's
am.
blur all the companies and all that shit out of the
Yes.
way.
Yeah, I've seen them do that in movies before, and I knew why they did it, but I just didn't think I was like
Big
on
enough.
that big of a scale to
Yeah, dude. When you're even let's just say if you're averaging 50,000 to 75,000 views per video,
even that, yeah.
people take notice of it. Now,
For sure.
your numbers are like very good numbers. Are you monetized on YouTube or do they not
Oh,
let
yeah.
you monetize?
Oh no, I'm monetized. Yeah.
Okay, so they actually let you pursue with it. Now, is the
Mm-hmm.
money like substantial enough to live off of it? Can you make a living off of just doing what you do?
It's my full-time thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Halfway through this year, I had left my full-time job because I had already made my salary on YouTube.
Cool.
So it's pretty solid.
What were you doing? What kind of work was it?
I was processing mortgage loans.
Cool.
Yeah, and before that, I was a phone sex operator.
Phone sex operator?
Now
Phone sex operator?
I'm just fucking with you.
Hey, yeah. Hey, can you imagine doing that shit, dude? I've called those
Hey.
numbers, man. That shit
Oh.
sucks.
Well, you were talking to 25-year-old girls that were actually dudes, so I don't put it
man,
past
that
you.
shit sucked, man. I'm not gonna lie. Man. I lost a lot of money
Damn.
doing some shit like that.
99 cents a minute.
Yeah, like, dude, man, yeah, I used to do that, man. When I was 18 or 19 years old, I remember specifically calling those numbers. Like, I remember because the porno movies would have the fucking phone number to call. I would literally call the number and I would talk to chicks on the phone. I'm like, yeah, this is fire. When can I meet you? And they're like, no, this is a phone thing. I'm like,
No, I was just on the phone.
yeah. And then I was like,
And you were sad.
How do I reach you?
Man, your parents must have fucking hated that phone, bro.
Dude, I was ringing that shit up, bro. I was ringing, man. I was calling those hotline numbers all the time. They were charging my phone. But you ever see that movie, Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler? That's literally what that movie is all about. Punch Drunk Love is Adam. You've never seen that movie?
I haven't seen that one.
It's his best fucking movie. It's a serious movie, but basically he calls this like hot sex line number, and then it ends up being like a scam where they took all of his credit card information. So the whole movie is trying to figure out how to get his identity back and shit like that. Fucking phenomenal film, but I knew how he felt the whole time. Just put it there.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, man. Getting caught with sex operators, it's fucking wild. But my favorite thing with the whole child predator situation is, number one, again, like we said, it's the deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the awareness, right? So like anybody who does that shit, you don't want them around your fucking family or kids or anything like that.
Exactly.
So now you're giving an awareness to like, yo, stay the fuck away from that person. And then that must be huge. But have you ever come across a situation where you knew the fucking person?
No, I haven't personally, but I know a couple of the other catchers who have, where they actually knew the person. I haven't come across it, but
how would you
I've heard
handle
about
it?
it.
Like, would you, if it's, let's just say it was your fucking like friend's brother?
Right. I'd be devastated. I would be so disappointed. And I mean, when they saw me, they would know what's going on, obviously. I would just look at it and be like, what are you doing?
Would you
No, I'm Skeeter Hansen, the Predator. No, just.
Would you proceed, or would you just imagine?
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't ever want that to happen. You know.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But that's always a possibility. Even like catching substantial people in society, like people who, even like a pastor, or catching somebody that's like a lawyer or something like that, or whatever, that like has like a reputation that's that high. Have you caught anybody that has had a substantial reputation?
Not like that. Not to that extent. The highest one I've gotten was probably the ice cream shop owner. That was like nothing. But another group that I do work with here, and they're called PCI. They're out of Indianapolis. They caught like a Facebook executive or something at one point. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, damn, I need to take notes from you guys. I need to do what y'all are doing. How you catching these guys?
What was the end of that? Like, did he get fired, or did he?
Yeah, he lost his job for sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if he got arrested or anything, but he for sure.
I think I saw one of your videos that the wife ended up answering the door, or something like that, and you had no, like, you just went into it, like you just told her what the fuck was going on and shit like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was actually over in this area. That was in Sterling Heights.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, not too far from here. Jay, my man Jay, yeah.
That's fucking brutal, bro.
Yeah, that was wild. I wasn't actually expecting her to answer the door there.
And going right into it, like, was it an opportunity as far as when you saw it, like, okay, regardless, his life's fucked. Let me just get into it with her for, like, what were you thinking when you communicated with her?
Well, when she first answered the door, I knew we were in for some really good content, for one. And I was, I was actually I was kind of hoping she'd be there just so I could also, let her know kind of what her husband had been doing, And I didn't disclose everything to her when she first answered the door. I announced that we're, this private investigation group, and I asked if we could talk to the husband, Jay. And he came out there. We had a long talk with him. Then we were like, okay, well, I think your wife should know about this, right? I mean, he had kids right there. Like, they were in the house looking out the window.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. And, wifey came out, and we told her what was going on, and, she let him have it, basically. So,
man, you do wonder if they stayed together after that. That's fucking.
I don't know. They were actually already separated. He was just kind of, he was living there.
Oh, okay. So it was already over.
It was. He for sure isn't living there anymore. I can probably guarantee you that.
Another thing I wanted to kind of talk about is one of the newer videos where I think the son comes downstairs, but that wasn't your son, right?
Oh no, I don't have kids.
Oh,
No.
yeah. So
No,
what was that all about? Kind of walk us through that episode.
Yeah, so that was another of the catchers that I collabs with out in Philadelphia. It's called Predator Catchers PA. So he was rooming with us in the Airbnb, and we got this guy to show up, and it was sort of my idea. I was trying to think like, how could we have you sort of involved in this, but it still kind of makes sense with the situation. I was like, okay, well, when he comes in, you hear me start talking, just come downstairs, and I'll act like he woke you up, and you'll be like my son. So yeah, that's kind of how that played out. That's pretty funny.
Okay, so he's a predator catcher too.
Yeah.
The one who came down. Okay,
he's an adult for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was kind of.
He's pretty young looking.
Yeah, when I seen him, I was like, wait, man, you have a son, and then not only that, he's like an old son. So I was like,
how old do you think I am?
I thought you were 27.
Yeah. I just turned 28.
Oh, you just turned 28. Yeah. So pretty much, yeah. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah,
that's his fucking son.
But that's funny. Yeah, some people probably actually do think that.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you is this stressful for you at all? Like when you go home, are you stressed out? Like when you're done working or when you're done getting the job done, are you stressed out? How do you feel like throughout life without having off the set?
No, I'm not stressed out. It's more like right after we're done, it's really like an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's kind of just, this is just business at this point, basically. This is kind of this is what we do. Like we said before, I do think of, some of these guys trying to get revenge or whatever. So that's always, a recurring thing that I think about. And that's pretty much it. We're always just sort of onto the next move, onto the next one, basically.
Yeah. So when you're off the clock, when you're not paying attention to it, what are you kind of doing to kind of keep yourself balanced and keep yourself like kind of regulated?
So I spend a lot of my time talking to these guys on the apps. It's pretty refreshing to actually talk to an adult female for my interest. Every now and again, I do like to partake in
dating,
consensual acts with dating. Yeah, females.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Adult females, of course. That's one thing I do to gotta make sure we're clear on that. That's one thing I do to keep a good balance.
Yeah.
And, I have a few hobbies. I play video games.
What games do you play?
I play Overwatch.
Oh, cool.
All the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, all that good stuff. I play some Halo.
Awesome.
I just got back into Cyberpunk, sort of.
Cyberpunk had mixed reviews, right, man? Like
it did. At first, it didn't work even.
Yeah, right on.
But now it's. Yeah.
Yeah, like why did they even release it type shit? Like everybody was complaining. What did they make it updated to the point where it's solid now?
Oh, it's solid now for sure. And I'm just now getting to go through it. It seems pretty cool so far.
Yeah.
And besides that, what else do I do? I have a motorcycle.
Oh, cool.
I like riding my motorcycle. That's fun. Just casual stuff with typical stuff with your friends. You go to bars, bowling, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of some of the things I do to kind of keep a balance.
Yeah, because there's always with adrenaline rushing and heat of the moment situations and all that stuff. It's like you can't just go home and just be like, all right, everything's cool. Like there has to be a little bit of residual energy effect from everything that you just went through, right? And so to kind of calm it down a little bit.
Oh yeah, I would say like the night of, say we caught someone and then it's late at night, I'm going home, about to go to bed, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll still have that sort of adrenaline rush going. I'll come in the house, load everything on the computer that we got, and pour up a glass of whiskey, chill out a little bit.
Ooh, that sounds nice, man.
But, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Hey, let's go get fucking drunk.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's the farthest anybody's ever? Now you got that fake so we can't call it a fake lawsuit because we don't know if it's real or fake. But what's the farthest somebody's ever gone to try to get their shit down or convince you to take it down or whatever, or convince you to stop you from continuing the video shoot in the first place?
Well, people have gotten their videos removed. There's, for privacy complaints on YouTube. There's like, I want to say there's been about 5 that have successfully got their video removed.
Wow.
So that, that happens. But outside of that, nothing really. Like I haven't had anyone write to me and like threaten me or anything like that. Yeah, but that's about as far as it's gone. Just, them complaining to YouTube basically and getting it taken down.
Right on.
That's about it.
YouTube's scary and Instagram's scary and all these social media apps are scary because, I've had a lot of rapper friends lose their Instagrams that have millions of followers and whatnot. And the thing that sucks is it's like, it's not just about the page, man. Like what you invested into creating that content is all gone now.
Exactly.
The people that were supporting it don't know about it anymore, or there's just so many things that go behind losing a YouTube page or Instagram page. You can lose like your whole salary, your whole career.
Yeah, basically, and that's why it's scary.
Waking up every day, it's like a part of probably like a thought, like, damn, maybe did they get me today? Like, did they get me?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm always like low key stressing. Like, when are they gonna take another video down? Oh boy, you know.
That's the sucky part. So you create something phenomenal, right? And then like you got to worry about was this all a waste of time? Like, so did you guys ever find like a different platform that worked out or anything like that? Because I know even what's it called wasn't working out. What's that one where people can pay you to
Patreon?
Like that wasn't even working out.
Yeah, they got me out of there.
Yeah.
That was for a different reason though.
What'd they get you out of there for?
I was doxing a little bit.
What's doxing?
Like putting someone's information out there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so people blow their email up and their fucking mail and all kinds of stuff. Basically I wasn't putting their addresses out there, but I put their phone number out there so people could like mess with them a little bit. I didn't think anything of it when I first started doing it, but after a minute, someone told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, let me stop doing this. But eventually some predator complained to Patreon, and they did a background research and saw that I was doing that in the past, so they just terminated my account.
And there's no way to reboot that, right? With Patreon, like you can't make a new account under a new name or anything
no,
like that?
you have to like ask them if it's cool if you get back on the platform, and they told me that I have to, once I have a new project, I can maybe reapply or whatever.
Cool.
So basically I had to do something else entirely.
Was that a substantial was that a good amount of income from them?
It was decent. It was pretty decent. I had close to 200 patrons, and they were paying between like $5 and $10 a month.
That's chilling, bro.
So yeah, that was a pretty that sucked. That was a setback right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the end result of it sucks. Yeah, it's like you're making all this dough.
For sure.
Doing something that now, how do you feel about that? Like a lot of people obviously get on Dap's ass about money and stuff like that, and I'm always defending them because it's like it's so stupid to think that people can do this for a living without making any fucking money. Like it's just ridiculous to think that. Like think about the fact that first of all you're risking your life, you're doing something that benefits society, you're doing something that prevents these predators from trying to pursue these things. It's just all around beneficial. And then, oh, yeah, by the way, do that for free or do that without asking for money or do that without asking for, like, that's insane.
Yeah. See, no one's asking for money. Plugging your Patreon isn't asking for money. Mm-hmm. Just telling people that, hey, I have a Patreon. Subscribe to it if you want. But, yeah, I've gotten some comments that are saying, like, basically that I'm a scumbag and I'm just doing it for the money. They basically don't like the fact that I'm getting paid for making these videos, making this content. They're like, if you really cared about the kids, you would just do it for free. And, my answer to that, to sum it up, it's basically like, there's no detective out there that solved a murder and didn't get paid for it.
Yeah.
That's what that's what Josh from DAP said when I was on their podcast. It really opened my eyes, because they're kind of dealing with the same sort of comments, but yeah, there's no police officer that's out there stopping crime and not getting paid for it.
Right.
And I'm sort of in the same boat of, exposing people who are doing wrong and immoral things. So why can't I make a little bit of money from it?
Well, not only that, think about it.
Or
like
anyone,
this. You were working a job, right? I'm sure your job was probably 9 to 7, something 9 to 5, whatever it was.
For sure.
Where's the time for you to be able to fucking fully involve yourself in catching predators when you're working in the 9 to 5. You have to really fucking squeeze time in, and
yeah, absolutely.
It makes you more unorganized and makes things more spontaneously, just more difficult, obviously. Now, if somebody's saying, hey, well, these platforms are paying you and monetizing you, you have 24/7. Now you can fucking do what you need to do when you need to do it.
Pretty much, yeah, and really gives you freedom.
Yeah, I'll never understand that aspect, man.
God forbid if I see any income from all this hard work that I'm doing, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Talk a little bit about how you feel when you look back at everything you've done so far or what you're doing now. Is it going the way you want it to go? Is everything kind of like aligning as far as what you hoped it to become at this point?
Actually, I'm blown away at where I'm at, basically. Like, I really wasn't expecting to. I never thought I would be able to do anything on the internet, let alone YouTube, like full time as a, for an income, all that. So I'm pretty much, blown away at the results. I never thought I would even get to 100,000 subscribers. Just never thought I'd be where I am today. So yeah, it's just I'm very happy with where I'm at. Safe to say. Yeah,
for sure, man. Yeah, making a living off YouTube is like the whole world's dream right now.
It is a dream. It really is. It's hard work though. You got to keep the content pumping and keep spicing up the content. Keep people engaged.
That's the cool part about you is that not only are you doing this thing, which is kind of like a task force, but you know how to create a production and make it work. A lot of people who do this, like all respect to them and everything that they're doing, not taking that away from them, but to be creative enough and be organized enough to know how to make a production out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm always aiming for the end result to be a product, basically something of value that people can watch and be entertained by, but also informed. And, a lot of the other channels that do this sort of thing, it's pretty much all based, like the whole following is pretty much based on this wow factor.
Yeah.
Like this guy is here to meet a 13-year-old girl, okay? And they're basically making the same video every time. And after so many people find out about that channel, they follow it and watch the videos. If you keep doing the same thing, it's like, that channel isn't growing, and you've already accumulated all the followers you're going to accumulate by doing that, which is fine. So those channels, I think that they're more trying to spread awareness, which is good. But I guess they just have they have different goals. Right. I'm trying to do that and also entertain people, and that's where a lot of the followers are coming from. They're coming for that entertainment value.
Right. Yeah. Because this is the most stupid analogy, but kind of like the difference between the WNBA and the NBA. It's like, yeah, they're both basketball, but the reason the NBA is so elite is because the shit's entertaining as fuck. Like, that's the difference, right? Like, you're both doing the same thing. Yeah. Even though it's a terrible analogy to some degree, it's like you're both doing the same thing.
You might get lit up for that one.
Why? Why? Because the WNBA sucks?
Just by some of the feminists out there, you might get lit up.
Oh god, the WNBA sucks. Come on, man. I watched it. I'm sorry. It's come on, man. Like, I don't watch ping pong. And I respect the sport, but it's boring as hell. Like,
yeah, true.
I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah. But the whole point is that, yeah, man, when you're exciting and entertaining and it's fresh and it's new, there's a new dunk that just happened. There's a new dramatic moment that happened. It's at the top level of creating entertainment as far as your niche is concerned. Of course, you're gonna be the most viewed, the viewed channel on that. That's why, again, like, I know I keep coming back to the network thing. I'm almost positive you get picked up by a network because you stand out so much and you took it to a professional level. And the reason getting put on a network is the best thing in the world is because that protection is available. Not only
you wouldn't have to worry about getting taken down.
Yeah, well, that too, but also, like, your personal life. Like, your personal life would be more so protected to some degree. People would look at, I'm sure with Chris Hansen, I'm pretty sure some people probably wanted to kill Chris Hansen, but some of them were also like, fucking Dateline. Like, more than they were like, fucking Chris Hansen. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And also, those guys actually go to jail.
Not all of them. I heard that a lot of their cases get dropped.
On To Catch a Predator?
Yeah, I heard a majority of the cases were dismissed. Like, they just couldn't get it. Like, they just couldn't.
Like They couldn't prosecute on it.
Yeah,
that
they
may
couldn't
be true.
prosecute.
I want to say for the majority of them though, they were usually.
Do you think it was the majority of them got prosecuted?
After the first season, because in the first season they didn't have the police involved. But I want to say second season going forward, they always had the police there, and whether they were able to get a conviction or not, they at least got put in handcuffs.
You probably don't have the statistics, but like, how often is it that a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, 14-year-old is actually engaging with adults and converting and actually going and meeting up and all that? Is that like a common thing?
Like an actual minor?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. These days, I don't know if it's as common for it to be like an online thing. I'm sure that one slips through the cracks every now and again, though, and I'm sure it does occur. But like I said before, if there is an adult talking to someone, telling them that they're 12, 13, 14, you might be talking to me, Yeah. But as far as statistically, I'm not sure how often that actually happens. I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of it recently. When it does happen, I want to say it's usually like an in-person thing. Like they might meet the child through like a friend or some sort of extracurricular or something,
Yeah. Is there any particular episode that where you were actually fearful at any degree, where you were like, damn, this could actually go really south?
Yeah, a couple times. One time being when we went out to Flint to confront this guy. His name was Frank, and his wife was actually there. We were talking to them, and they said that we could. It was cold outside. They said we could come in the garage and talk because the garage was heated. So they opened the garage. We walk in a little bit, not thinking that they were actually going to try to close the garage door, and they hit the button and started closing. And we were like, oh, well, hold on now. Got out of there real quick. They're like, no, we're not trying to be closed in the garage now.
Yeah.
Hold on. So that was a little sketchy for sure. And the other time where we confronted this guy outside his job, not that it really matters, but he was black and sort of fit the look of a not so nice person, basically someone like from the hood, as you would say. And then his brother got out of the car, so that was like even more sketchy. And they were like, hey, why you got a camera pointed at us? And I was a little scared in that instance, but held it together, got the job done, didn't get shot, so we're still going strong.
Yeah, man. I can imagine how it feels like. I mean, I've been in situations where I thought my life's on the line, but like, I don't know. It just like, it shakes you up a little bit.
It does, for sure.
Because you think about the next time, and then you think about the next time. But, yeah, man, this is awesome having you on, man. This is fucking very insightful and fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Skeeter, is that your real name?
It's classified information.
Okay, but Skeeter is a fucking hilarious name.
Thank you.
Okay, did you take it from something, or is it just
Skeeter
or Doug? Doug, funny.
Doug. Yeah. I just thought it was a cool, funny name. So kind of just went with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. So you probably were a Doug fan growing up, I'm assuming.
A little bit, as far as like the little bits of it I can remember, because I was born in '94, so that show was kind of like on its way out as I started to like really watch, TV. I remember bits and pieces from it, I always thought, just Skeeter was like sort of a funny name.
It is a funny name because like skeeting is,
you know what skeeting is, but it's also a name.
And
so
it kind of isn't, man. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. Like
it's a nickname. Like some people are like actually
for real.
Yeah,
Skeeter.
Yeah, like if you go down south, there's plenty of Skeeters down there.
There's Skeeters down south.
Skeeters down south.
How many states have you been to doing this?
Let's see. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, and we just got back from Philadelphia. So yeah, like 5 so far. We're planning to go to either Virginia or Florida later this year. And we're going to see.
You shouldn't be saying all this because now the guys who are fucking. He's
cut it out. Cut it out.
He's coming out of Virginia.
Oh, okay, I got it. I didn't say what parts.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Like, how do you, because you just go to a major city, right? Because, like, what's the point of, like, finding a smaller city? Like, there's more traffic on Tinder when you go to, Atlanta or something like that.
Usually I'll set up an account on a dating app, and someone will message me from a certain area, and I'll feel out the situation, see how promising it is that they'll meet up. And then based on that, I'll set my location to that area and try to target, fish for even more. So that's what we did in Philadelphia. We had like one main guy that we were going there to get. We've been talking to him for about 4 months.
Oh my God.
And then, once we got there, we did some more fishing and reeled in, I want to say it was 3 more.
Jesus.
In a weekend, so yeah.
So what's the difference between it taking 4 months versus you get there and now you can kind of fast forward it with the other guys? Like, how does that work?
Some of them you just have to talk to for a while, but with this guy in this situation, it was the fact that he was just so far, and it just took a while for me to be like, all right, I guess we'll go ahead and do it. We'll go ahead and get him, Some of them are fast movers. Some of them you got to talk to for a while. This one guy, Scott in Canton, we talked to him for about 8 months, and finally got him to come out. So,
how do you manage multiple conversations at once? Like, if you got a main guy and then you got 16 like sub people, like how do you?
Yeah, you kind of just gotta treat them like
names, times, things,
screenshots, all that. Treat them like they're all a bunch of fishies in your pond. You just feed them all a little bit here, feed this one there.
Because, like, even when I date girls, I'll, like, forget, like, what this girl told me and what that girl told me.
Absolutely. That happens, too. So you can imagine I'm talking to predators and girls.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a lot,
Oh, man.
But I also have a decoy girl that does a lot of the conversing as well. I only talk to, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 at the same time.
Okay.
I make sure that they're, like, pretty promising, and then I'll keep talking to them. And I might have, like, another 5 on the back burner or something, but they're not talking as good.
No.
Meaning sexually.
Oh, right, yeah.
So,
like, you look for guys who are easy to get to.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you too, like, so when so you're juggling multiple people at the same time, then you're obviously trying to have a dating life at the same time. Are girls finding this attractive? Because it is a dangerous life.
A little bit, actually. I mean, like 95% of my followers are dudes, but that other 5%, hey, comes in handy sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have gotten, some sort of, female attention from this sort of thing. I guess it's the clout. I don't know.
Well, it's a dangerous lifestyle.
A little bit,
and it's effective, and it's like a niche that not a lot of people can pursue and do and execute.
Yeah.
And I'm sure women are kind of looking at you like a bounty hunter to some degree.
Maybe. I never thought of it like that, but maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit. I'll take it.
Yeah, no. Women are attracted to danger, man.
They are a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's
definitely
like,
are.
This motherfucker's putting his life on the line.
Yeah.
To stop my future kid from being molested. So it's like,
someone's got to do it.
Super fucking hero. Goddamn. Skeeter Jean, man, I appreciate you being a part of this, man. This is fucking awesome. I look forward to seeing what you guys bring to the table in the future. Right now, what you guys are doing with these higher production videos is fucking awesome. Like I said, anybody watching this needs to go check them out because it feels like you're watching a TV fucking show. And it's highly entertaining, but also highly... it's what's the word for it? Rewarding as a citizen to watch because you're like, damn, this is actually doing something. This isn't just entertaining me. It's actually fucking doing something.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome. So thank you again for being a part of this. Any social media outlets you want to shout out or anything like that?
I mean, we got my Instagram is at the Real Skeeter Jean, Twitter Real Skeeter Jean, Twitch is the Real Skeeter Jean. You made it when you got to start putting the real in front of
Facts.
All your social media names, and the YouTube is just Skeeter Jean. Check it out. Check it out.
Jean. Appreciate you, man. I'll catch up with you again soon. See what's going on. Keep us updated. We're shooting these productions at Parallel Sound Studio, High Low Visuals. Shooting these productions. We're out.